Greetings, geeks and geek gorillas. It is me, I am back. Keeping it up, doing two in one day, technically. Because for those that don't know, about 2, 3 o'clock, I think it was 2, last night, I reviewed the latest episode of Castle Rock, which you can go check that out if you want to. But, that's not why I'm here. I'm here today to talk about the penultimate episode of Season 1. Hopefully there'll be more. Hence the knock on wood. Of Season 1 of Reverie. Oh boy, this episode. I mean that in a good way. There were some things that I totally called, but then some things that I really didn't. But before we get into that, just quick spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the episode already, go watch it, come back, tell me what you think in the comments down below. Alright, so let's get into this. So, I totally called that Alexis was going to enter Reverie in this episode, and that the finale was going to include Mara going into Ray's head using Reverie. I did not call all the other shit. But we'll get to that. Let's start at the beginning. So, Mara goes and calls, and Paul, Alexis, and Charlie all come to her house. And they reassure her that they are real, but she's still freaking out. Then, as they're starting to just decompress from all of that, while still in the situation, they get the call about Oliver, who was the crazy ex-partner, who I also called was going to be the big bad of the season. And they get it so that they can go inside his reverie. And Mara decides that she's going to go ahead and do it because maybe he could have answers, because no one else has answers, because this has never happened before. Closest thing enough was him when he went crazy. So she goes and talks to him, and Alder basically says that I want Alexis to come in to this reverie with me. And I think as like a sign of good faith, he told Mara what she could do to get rid of the reverie glitch projection things. And that was to completely leave reverie and get it surgically taken out. But given the fact that it attaches to your brain, you can take it out, but your body heals in a way from it that it can never be put back in. So she'd be done with Reverie forever. She says, screw it, I'm okay with that. It's fine, I want to get this shit done. I want to be over with it. I liked helping people, but I need to think about me. But then, well, first Paul comes to her and says, yeah, I think I might know what's going on with you. I think the Reverie might be speaking out because you're hiding something. you're hiding something from yourself, a memory that you've buried. Which honestly makes sense when you think about her niece and now her brother-in-law from the last episode. They said you're seeing this for a reason, basically. And we find out that, yeah, Paul's right, but it takes Mara having to realize how many people are in Reverie. And just currently at that moment, there were thousands. Because, see, one thing that we don't really realize is it seems like Reverie is just as popular or almost as popular as SAO in its universe, but we only see the bad people, the people where they've had an adverse reaction to it. And she gets Dylan to do the math and finds out that there are one in 1,000 have a problem. So there is 2.28 people who currently have a problem in Reverie, but they don't know about it yet. So she's like, shit, I need to stay. So she goes, talks to Paul, tells him the whole full story. But then Charlie overhears, and he's like, what are you guys doing? They tell him, he's like, you don't need to do that, because I know the full story. I can tell you. Come to my office. And she does, and one-on-one he proceeds to tell her that in her franticness to text him to say, send away the police car, she accidentally dialed him and didn't realize it. And so he heard and had everything recorded to his voicemail. What happens next? And, oh my god. If you saw a little jump there, sorry about that. Tech issues. But thanks to editing, I don't have to redo the whole review. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, Charlie's telling her about what happened, and not only did Ray apologize, which you're like, whoa, then he says, and it recorded what you said. Beep. And it proceeds to show us what happened that night. After he killed them, she proceeds to basically talk him into shooting himself. You're like, what the fuck? You could end this all right now. You shot them because you didn't want to be alone. Well, there's a way that you can not be alone. We're just like, what the fuck? Holy... Ah! As she freaks out, gets drunk, wakes up the night after, and she doesn't have any more of the hallucinations. She can't call upon them anymore. So it's all good. Except one thing that I'll get into later, because meanwhile, while all this was happening, Alexis had her own little thing where she went into Reverie with Oliver, and basically he tried to woo her again. Kind of. Show her a secret city that he built in Reverie. And then showed her... Fuck. Dylan. Her dead brother. And she's distraught from it. Obviously. And so... his crazy ends up coming out. she's like, Charlie was right, this is a mistake. She leaves. But meanwhile, while that has been happening, of course, this was all part of Oliver's plan. The secret security dude that he had on his payroll went and stole a USB card from Alexis while she was in Reverie. Which we later find out is the key to everything about Reverie. Shit. That's not gonna end well. Well, then we jump back to where I was saying, and the episode ends with Mara convincing Paul, who totally doesn't have a crush on her, which maybe that'll come out in the finale. It almost came out here. But anyway, he helps her, and they sneak into Ray's hospital room and inject him with something to like forcibly put him in Reverie. And she goes in with him. Kind of like how they did with the bomb girl, but the Reverie that she has built for him, which we still don't know what it is very basic, and she's going in before the Reverie is built. And so we see what it's like when you go inside a coma patient's brain in their Reverie before you've created a Reverie setting for them. And that is, it's kind of like, it's a big white room, but there are also lines, digital lines going. It's kind of like in the bomb episode when Paul went into the Reverie as it was being built, and you saw the walls of the Reverie where they were black with those digital lines, except for it's white this time. And then Ray shows up and he's like, Mara, what are you doing here? And hello, Ray. Boom. End of episode. And oh my god, this was a good episode, but I have a feeling that I'm going on for too long, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Maybe think about hitting the like button, subscribing if you like this face. I will see you guys tomorrow for the finale of Cloak and Dagger. And that'll be fun, because I got 2 words for you. Well, 3 technically. Fear zombie apocalypse. That's gonna be good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Till next time, and beyond.